No, I don't know what was going on with him.
It sounded like he may or may not be here tonight, too.
Yeah, he was hunting,
Okay.
so I don't,
So if he gets a deer, he'll be here. If he doesn't.
well, he didn't want a deer, actually. He just wanted to go hunting. He didn't want to have to do the work,
Let's go sit in the woods.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, while watching.
Yeah.
Sounds like he wants to do it while everybody else is out there with a gun.
Yeah, probably not a good place to be. The headboard is orange.
Hi, Terry. Hey, this just beeped, so I brought it to you just for a minute. I'll put it back in. But it just beeped. I
Hey,
don't know
Terry.
what's in
Are you doing this
there.
evening?
Okay.
Oh, just living the dream, buddy. Living the dream.
Is it a nightmare? Or, is it a nightmare?
At times.
How you doing, man?
Fine.
Good to see you. All right, there you go.
Cozy, huh?
You turned the furnace on yet in the shop?
Yes.
Last week was when I did, last Wednesday, I think is when I turned mine on.
It was, I had 23 this morning.
Yeah, it was
27.
23 at my house, yeah.
Huh?
23 at my house, yeah.
Yeah.
I cheat though, I have a space heater in the rooms that we usually stay in, so I just turn that on and don't have to turn on my furnace for a while.
Of course, your electrical system's rated for that, right?
Absolutely. Grandfather.
Yeah, grandfather.
And I will never touch it again.
We'll stay grandfather till the day I die.
That was a
Make room.
meat market at one time, wasn't it? Yeah. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. We still have the insulated room downstairs for the freezer washer.
Right.
The corner where King's house is, right between him and the.
This one
there
is-
used to be a store there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one right across the street too.
Where that's all.
Uh,
No, on the other
where-
side.
Where the little
Little green
ice cream store,
These are
yeah.
the actual bids. I forgot what I had sent to the others. And these are other things, supporting documentation and stuff.
Beautiful, thanks.
Terry, did you get what you needed, paperwork?
No?
Okay.
I was wondering about that, how Kevin rated and Terry didn't.
Well, that's generally the way it works.
Well, I
Oh,
wasn't.
come on.
Did you get the figures that
I
I
did.
asked for?
I did not yet.
Pine Tree couldn't give them to you?
Pine tree's right there. Karen,
I'm working on them, Terry. I'm the holdup on the 2013 and the two-day
did you
con.
miss something?
I have
No,
the
that's-
2015 if
you
you
have all that
would
stuff.
like those.
I have
I
all
already
that stuff
have.
in the
I
budget.
got those, Terry?
I got 15. I
Yeah.
was looking for 16.
Two-date 16.
Today, 16.
Yeah. I've seen some of them coming in. They should be done by, I'd say, the end of the day tomorrow.
But it was gonna be part of this
Huh?
meeting. Yeah.
I can go make
That's
you-
the reason
make
I
a
wanted
couple.
them figured, because I have some
Thank you
questions.
for asking.
So it
I'm
matches
gonna
the time.
pick on you,
But
Ken.
you're being
You don't
serious.
me.
Yeah,
I'll cover you.
so then actually kind of
I'm used
asking.
to
like-
And you think I can actually reach that?
Oh, if you can't, but
That
that won't be his.
Went back into the files. this group had
Well, I
come,
can reach you.
Thank you.
and,
Yeah, I should
for
have
some
waited for
reason,
Calvin.
they never generated a 2013.
Right.
All right, so it's
Oh,
20.
is there glass on the outside of that? I'm sorry, I thought it was open.
Oh, it is open. You're right. Oh, you wanted me to just,
Yeah.
I guess that, is that match your watch?
Yeah, everything to date, including the.
Yep.
Where from?
On.
I got time to adjourn.
Yeah. Wow.
You're welcome.
Just asked to be excused tonight.
Is there anything that you need to discuss, really?
No, I don't really have anything.
Give us a written report and.
Have a good night, sir.
Bring one up, I'll send it to you when I get it done.
Bye.
Been in the office all week.
Yeah, bye.
Excuse.
Excuse. See you later.
Thank you.
Do we have Wi-Fi in?
We do.
Do we have Wi-Fi?
We do, do you need it?
No.
Suck it in, suck it in.
He's paying for it.
Somebody else.
Oh, we don't give our
We don't so much have a guest Wi-Fi at this point.
There used to be a guest one, but I don't think it's
So the answer
never-
is no,
never
you
actually
don't have
worked.
Wi-Fi in here for everybody.
But
for
sometimes
everybody, but you didn't ask for everybody.
For everybody.
I'll take care of it eventually here. Time catches up with me.
They're giving you no slack whatsoever.
Does he give us slack?
Right.
They wanna do it now because a little bit, it's gonna be coming up.
I'll try to get a guest Wi-Fi working before everybody comes for those meetings.
Anybody hear from Sarah?
I haven't, no.
I haven't even.
Did she say something at last meeting about not being here? And I
Campaigning.
She's out in a scary clown costume. Vote for Chase. Vote for Chase.
Yeah, that's right.
Surprised I didn't hear something about some of them scary clowns being shot over throughout the country, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't have surprised me if we
Well,
had.
there's the woman in Auburn there, pulled her firearm on one.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, she just kinda said, yeah, right back at you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess that smartened him up.
I don't understand.
That's just plain dumb.
Well, that's what's wrong. Okay? I just. Would you cure all of these evils that he has against her? No. So.
You know, this is a little misleading.
What, resident complaint?
It's not a resident.
It's not?
She lives in Auburn. She
I
comes through.
apologize, I apologize.
Non-resident complaint.
Thank you for pointing out.
Yeah.
I saw that, but I didn't really think much of it.
Yeah, see, I didn't either, Mark.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go anywhere with it, I just, well, yeah, okay.
Oh, I did read this wrong. It's what she calls river, so it's Swamp Road.
We'll have to buy a box of those like really annoyingly bright headlight bulbs, and for everybody that sends us one of these, we'll mail them a package. Here you go.
The bad thing with those ones, I mean, I've gotten them before, and they're nice when you've got them, but they don't last very long.
Oh,
They've got like a quarter of the life of regular bulbs,
see, yeah,
and they
yeah.
cost about 2 or 3 times as much.
I don't even know what the difference in technology is. I haven't looked into it. I just know they're damn annoying. I see them coming.
Okay, sorry if you cut here, but I didn't see who they were. Hi, all right. Yeah, me. Okay, so what are you going to do?
Thank you.
Alden, I'm ready anytime. Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. 4 of the 5 selectmen are here. Could we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And it is. Correction, we have 5 out of 5 selectmen now. Amendments to the agenda. I have a couple here, 8C, and we're going to add a 4 under that, under the correspondence, correspondence from Shiloh Chapel to the fire department. And 9, we'll add G, and it's a notice of return for an RSU 5 boat that we've got to sign.
Were there any other amendments that you know of, that you're aware of? The notice to return and the correspondence from Shiloh Chapel?
Yep, no, that's it.
Okay.
That's as far as I know.
All right, public comment?
Is there any more agendas?
Yes.
I guess that was it.
And, okay, so no public comment this evening? Consent agenda.
Move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Action and discussion items. Discussion of solid waste RFP. Last meeting, was it last meeting or the meeting before? 2 meetings ago, before we opened the 2 bids that we had for solid waste. One from Pine Tree Waste in the amounts, first year was $202,534. Second year was $206,584, and third year was $210,716. And Teist Waste Management out of Norway. All 3 years were $187,000 each. And we had a few questions specifically for Teist Waste Management, as we're not familiar with them, and we wanted to ask some questions. Just a quick bit, just to make sure you are aware of the timeline on this. We're getting this prepared for our budget season, which is coming up, and we'll be making a recommendation, but we won't be able to sign the contract or approve the contract until our meeting in April, which is the first Saturday in April. The Board of Selectmen will make a recommendation to go on the town warrant, and the town will vote on it at that point. So at this point, we're kind of doing information gathering so that we can make our recommendation. And we've invited members of the Budget Committee to be here because they are going to have to make a recommendation as well, and we thought it would be good for them to have the same information that we did. So I know we have at least 4. Are you a member of the Budget Committee? So we have 5 out of 9 members of our Budget Committee here this evening. So I guess at this point, I'll open it up. If you, Mr. Tice, if you want to introduce yourself and just kind of let us know who you are and what your kind of plans are and so on. If you can come up to this so that the microphone will pick you up.
Thank you. I'm Josh Tice from Tice Waste Management. I've owned it for 4 years. The business was, prior to that, Harris Brothers Rubbish Removal. Been in business for 22 years. I acquired it last year. We bought out a company in the town of Bridgeton and transitioned that into our customer base. Right now, we're looking to grow. We have an opportunity here in the town of Durham. I have a great amount of staff, office staff. They're excited for this opportunity, as it should, acceptance of you guys. I know you guys had questions about our ability to handle such a task. I've been up all hours of the night, for the last couple of weeks, and there's no doubt in my mind that my staff and I are more than willing and more than prepared to take on such a task. I've ran the numbers. There is plenty of room. I have good relationships with recycling facilities, one in Mechanic Falls, actually, a good relationship with MemWac. So as you've seen in the letter that I got, that I received from my bank, that upon acceptance of this contract, we will be prepared to purchase the truck that you guys are requiring. Right now, my business doesn't call for it, so it's just an unnecessary cost that, I want to keep my costs down for my customers. Could I use one? Absolutely, but we've been going strong for 4 years now, 4.5 years. It's made sense. Right now, we currently use Ford 350s. I have a 550 with dump bodies, and our clients like that. It's better for the roads. It's not, they're not so big. We have a lot of clients on dead-end roads, camp roads, so it's been effective for them. I am very interested in getting into the compacting field and being in that market. So
How many trucks did you say you had?
right now I have six. 4 we use on a regular basis.
So what do you do with recycling? Is it single stream?
So we service 15 different towns now, so every one of them has their own requirements. Bridgeton is the only one that currently has single stream. Town of Norway, Oxford, they all have the regular recycling where you recycle like the cardboard to the plastic. So we abide by what they want. We also do the city of Auburn, different apartment buildings there. And it just all goes into one. So, yeah, I mean, we kind of adapt to what each town likes. So right now, I mean, my plan for Durham is to take the recyclables and actually sell them to a contractor in Mechanic Falls, therefore keeping the cost down. Single stream, you could do that, but where you're able to separate it, it allows them to, they pay more for it, so.
One question I had, because I saw this letter from Norway, and that you're not going to be able to move on to this until we sign the contract, which is not going to be until early April.
Yeah.
Is that enough lead time to get you this compactor?
Yeah, actually, I just talked to Ian this evening, about an hour before I was here, and just to let him know what I was doing. And he's fully prepared that once, the contract is signed, and we're ready to go. I already have a truck in mind. It's a company out of Ohio. There's also one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I know it's kind of like a short leeway. The way I look at it, and I understand there was some concerns there, is that to take on an unnecessary cost when I don't really need to. But Norway Savings Bank moves fast. They have all the stuff that they need to make the decision, and the truck's picked out, the money's there. We just need to know that the account's going to be there to support it.
We have cleanup day once a year,
Yes.
and the last couple of years, we've had it down at the town garage. And we have a cold storage shed out back, it's a building, 60 by 100. And usually when we do this day, I don't ask me where the stuff comes from, I don't know, because it shows up. Same people every year, but anyways. And we usually have 6 to 7 packers, plus a roll-off. And then we have an outfit that comes in, helps with TVs and light bulbs and stuff like that. And it's pretty steady all day. So, I mean, those amount of trucks, and I think last year, I'm not sure about the year before, but I think last year we actually swapped out 1 or 2 of those trucks, possibly, I don't remember for sure, because they were full.
Yeah.
So, and they were all packers.
Yep.
So, if you only have 1 packer, that's one of those things, that's one of my concerns for that particular day, because it's a huge day. They're lined up for half a mile down the road trying to get in. It's only open from 9 till, what do we have, 4? 3 or 4, something like that. So there's a lot goes on in the course of that day.
Understood. And so I've already planned for that. So what we would do on that kind of a case, take the compacting truck, we'd have it here. And we'd also team up with Corcoran. I put that into my letter that I told you guys about. They have compacting machines that we could place here, and they would come and take them as well. They also have 40 roll-off containers too. And they are right down the road from us, so they're prepared to team up. That's how I keep my costs down. I mean, as I grow, I am looking to buy that stuff, but to stay competitive and profitable, it hasn't been in my business yet. But I've already talked to the owner, Pat, and he's all set to go upon the acceptance of this contract.
We did reach out to a couple of your references too, and one of the references mentioned that they had a concern of that you may be, let's see if I can actually see the concern is that you're juggling a lot and so on, and he's concerned that you may be overreaching and so on. And just wondering if you could answer that, how you feel on that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's a concern that some people have. I mean, people look at me and they look at my company and they think it's a small little mom and pops, right? It's Tice Waste Management. It's not the big boys, and I understand the concerns. That's one of the roadblocks that I've had to face and overcome. And I've done that successfully. I bought the company 4 years ago. I've doubled the customers. I've doubled the income. I bought out the company in the town of Bridgeton, and that's been successful for over a year and a half now. So I understand that people think that it's a lot. It is. I mean, it's going to be a big account, but I wouldn't be here today if I couldn't look at all you straight in the face and say that I have no doubt in my mind that my staff and myself have more than it takes to make this happen and make it successful. I mean, yeah, so I mean, I have no doubt it is going to be different than what we're dealing with now, but I'm excited. My staff is excited, and we're going to work hard day and night to make sure that it's a success.
Yeah, and understand from us, we have had excellent service.
Absolutely.
Over, I don't even know how many years it's been. It's been probably a couple decades almost that we've been with Pine Tree Casella. And if we make changes, the expectation of the townspeople is going to be high because they've had
The bar has been set high.
the bar has been set high. So if we do decide to go this direction, there is going to be a very high bar to meet.
And that's why I mentioned single stream too. We used to do sorting, recycling, and the participation rate was not there. And, we used to do the silver bullets, and I mean, I think that since we've gone to single stream, you see a lot more people getting involved with it, so.
Sure. Yep, and we are prepared to do, I mean, whatever makes sense, that's the most profitable for myself, and that kind of keep the cost down. There's no doubt that Pine Tree is a great company, and I see them all over the place. They've been in business probably before I was alive. They know what they're doing, and I respect that, they've been so successful. My goal is to be in the market and have some fun with them, and kind of be in that, that type of feel. I got to start somewhere, and I know that it's a risk that you guys are probably wondering because I'm a much smaller operation, but I think the reward will show, and I will give the same service, and you guys will see that. I mean, my office is a bunch of local people. For instance, one of my best office people is my mom. So she is running that office for me, along with two other staff. And it runs smooth. They're on the phones all the time. There's not 12 hours before a phone call or an email comes in, before that customer is taken care of. So we have a good operation. It's a smaller operation, but it's family owned. It's locally owned, Norway, South Paris, but we're definitely prepared to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm all for the small person. Pine Tree started small, I'm sure.
Right, yeah, they
Shaw
sure.
Brothers, they all started small. And Pine Tree ain't backing off the price either towards the taxpayers, that's for sure.
One of the reasons I'd ask about your trucks, and I also noticed in here that you have, you've got a mechanic on duty 24/7, which that's a good thing. I mean, I don't know if the trucks break down that much, but
No.
we used to do the same thing. We used to sub out our plowing. We used to go and inspect all their vehicles, make sure that they were copyrighted. That doesn't mean something wouldn't happen over the course of the plowing season or whatever, but we always tried to be proactive because, as Jeff said, the phone will ring here every time there's a hiccup, even if it's a little one, and then we have to deal with it. So they have to deal with it, we have to deal with it. So that's one of the things, that was one of my concerns, was whether you had enough equipment, especially that big one day. I think currently we only have 2 days in town that the trucks are here from Pine Tree, and you've got three, is it?
It was
3 days? is it?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I guess I'm not on that side of town, so I didn't see it, but anyways. So that was one of my concerns, because we gotta make sure that, no matter what decision we make, we gotta make sure that we're taking care of the town.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I would love to tell you it's a perfect world, nothing would ever happen, and that truck is going to work 24/7. We all know that's probably not going to happen. We've faced where, I've had guys in Bridgeton, and they're in the middle of a 12-hour day, and a truck breaks down. We make it work. We have other trucks that are on back, they're ready to go. I have a great staff. The guy who fixes all my stuff, you know, I mean, he doesn't fix it 24/7, or I wouldn't be in business, but he's available.
Right.
I spend enough money with him each year that he basically puts everything else aside, and he'll travel, he'll come, he'll do whatever it takes to make my business a success too, so.
I think you'll find the town people don't care if it gets picked up with a Volvo, a little pickup, or it gets picked up with a great big compactor, as long as the garbage is gone by the end of the day.
Sure.
I mean, as long as the product is not there, in their driveway when they get home, they don't care when it gets picked up with a
And that's
Prius,
just,
if you wanna come around with that, fine and dandy.
I will tell you,
It's not there.
when I first got started, unfortunately, when I first got started, I had a truck break down last minute, and I was picking up the trash with my wife's SUV and a trailer behind it. Got the job done. Wasn't the the best thing to do, but my customers need to be picked up. So stuff does happen, and we'll adapt to it. And I don't care if my guys are out here till late at night; they will get the trash done, and they won't stop until it does. They've done it before, so.
Any more questions from the board? Budget committee? Oh,
Would recycling and trash be picked up the same day?
Yeah, what I would prefer is I would actually have a dual truck. So I'd have the rubbish truck out here and then the recycling truck following it or shortly after. That way it stays organized.
budget committee? Kevin?
Yeah, I had a question on the trucks. Can you tell me, are they open back trucks? You said they were dump trucks or dump beds?
So yeah, they're dump bodies. So there are 4 350s and a 550. We also have a Dodge. They are all open, but we have covers for them too, because some town, like Bridgeton, they require us to keep them covered.
Yeah, that would be a concern I would have. And then under the heading of, if the recommendation is to take a chance on a newer company and to, kind of try it out, are there other is it 3-year contract or bust, or is there a contract where we could have some sort of an evaluation opt out at the end of a year if things aren't going well? I mean, are there different ways to structure that contract?
Right, I mean, we put the initial RFP out for 3 years.
Yeah, that's what, we put it out for 3 years, that's what we got back.
Right.
And I suppose.
We didn't word it any other way.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that could be, if, I suppose it might be a negotiation type thing that the final contract that we sign, if we're gonna go with you, have that opt out or something, but I'm not sure. I think we'd have to run that by legal where this was a true RFP. I don't know exactly how that.
All right, and I don't know, does our current contract have any time stipulations in it, like you can't, when you can start and stop collecting, like times of the day, and would this contract be the same? Like you mentioned, guys working all through the night. Well, I'm not sure people want their trash being picked up out front at 9 o'clock at night or whatever, so.
Right, I think he was just talking about in the
Yeah.
event of a breakdown or in
That's
an emergency
Worst case
situation.
scenario.
Okay.
Not a weekly or daily activity. My guys don't work all through the night, but I'm saying, worst case scenario, the trash is not going to be left out here.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So, ideally, I believe the start time is 7. Correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's when we would start.
Terry?
Getting to what Kevin said about the opt-out, in defense of this contractor, if he's gonna, assuming that he gets the contract, he's gonna go make a purchase of some serious money, because a compactor isn't something you buy off the lot. It is an expensive piece of equipment, and to opt out in a year, okay, could bankrupt it.
And that's also one of the reasons I was going to say we'd have to run something like that through legal anyway, because this was an RFP, and I'm not sure how much leeway you have afterwards once you get the proposal in. I don't know how much leeway you have. there is always, if the service isn't there, it's a breach of it could be the breach of a breach of
Absolutely.
contract, and
Yeah,
you
it's a
could
breach of
always.
contract in its own
I
right
mean,
there,
so there is, I mean, if the service isn't there, then that's a wait. Yeah. Milt?
A question for Mr. Tice.
Yes, sir.
I'm on the budget committee. So I certainly was impressed with your quote, but also was surprised that you, looking 3 years down, that your price would remain the same. How did you figure that? That you wouldn't have any increased expenses 3 years into it, that you would
Sure.
have to go up on your price?
Yeah, so the way I based it upon the last 4 years, the increase, we have seen some increase, obviously with gas or tipping fees. I accounted that for like the 3 years. Right now, a lot of the facilities just did their increase, and it's typically every 3 to 4 years. So I'm a much smaller operation. I have a lot much smaller overhead. That's what I could only suggest. I have no idea. I know with my costs, there is some room for the what ifs. If costs do go up, that I am able to absorb that too.
Just a couple comments and really echoing some of what the selectmen said. I've been here over 30 years and I've experienced the Emerson dump.
Town meeting?
I experienced the silver bullet, and then the choppiness afterwards with having to sort and all that. And I think when we talk about a high bar, we talk about a high bar compared to much of what happened in the past. And what we have now is really a precision. The people pick up my trash every Wednesday at 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it's amazing. They're there at 7 o'clock in the morning. And my trash buckets aren't scattered down the road. So anyway, I mean, that's sort of what you're facing here is a certain amount of predictability in a town that really doesn't offer very many services to its taxpayers. There are very few services that we really offer, and this is one of them, and we got it down finally. It works very well. I love startups. I've been involved in startups. What I know about startups is costs are unknown, capacity is unknown. You never know until you're 2 or 3 years out. And that's my major concern. It's not that I don't buy what you're saying, because I really do. I think you have some experience, you have some good references. But my experience with startups is hold on to your hat, and really at the end of 2 or 3 years, you know what you got. So.
But this was a going concern when you bought it, correct?
With me?
Right.
As far as like what? Sorry.
Didn't you say that you bought out Harrison's?
I bought the Harris Brothers, yeah.
Harris Brothers,
Yeah, and I mean, they were 22 years into it. I bought them out. I had no idea what trash, I mean, I never owned a trash company, never even thought about trash. My wife and I also own LA Luxury Limousine. So we've been in business for a long time. And I say this in the utmost respect, like I won't fail. I mean, that's not an option. I know there's going to be some hiccups. As far as, we've been in business for the trash company for 4.5 years. I absolutely love trash. It's people wonder why. I mean, I'm in the trucks myself, so I'm up at 4 o'clock every morning with my guys throwing trash 5 days a week, and it's just a thing that I love. It's peaceful. You're out there in the day. I'd much rather do that than running the limousine company. Understood that this is scary. It's a risk that Durham could be taking. I'm a little guy, but in the big scheme of things, I know if this should happen, I do have some big shoes to fill, and I respect that. I do have the backing and the ability to get the job done, and like I said, my guys are excited for this opportunity. As far as your experience, I can appreciate that. If you see some of the towns that I go into and maybe go to the neighborhoods that I go into, what you'll see is that a lot of the people that choose us is because of the service that we provide. My drivers put the the covers back on, they snap them back on. The containers are up, they're not scattered throughout the road. If they're back rips open. We have shovels, brooms, rakes in our trucks that we clean it up for the people. It's not in the middle of the road because it's their property. Some people literally pick us because of just that little portion that it means so much to them. So,
Did you say you support Bridgeton, the town of Bridgeton?
I do.
Yeah, so the Bridgeton, I mean.
Bridgeton is very hard.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I mean, if you meet their standards, then.
Do you,
We've been there
do
for,
you, do you pick up for the whole town, or is it?
no, I don't pick up for the whole town. We currently have right there about 700 people, including hospital, colleges, restaurants, and residential.
Any other questions from the board or from the,
Just, do you have any municipalities that you do now, or no?
I do not currently.
any other questions for Mr. Tice? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you all for this opportunity.
Yeah, and I'll let, if you want to just present, I mean, we know who you are and so on, but if you just want to present whatever, anything, you're more than welcome to.
Sure, thank you.
So I know everybody here knows Karen. I'm the new guy. So my name is Nate Chapman. I'm the general manager for Pine Tree Waste Southern Maine. And Karen McGon is obviously my municipality sales rep, which you guys all know. My only thing, and I do want to start by saying with about Mr. Tice, I'm all about small business too, because before I came to Pine Tree, that's what I did. I had a landscaping business for almost 10 years, so I get the small business and I get trying to grow and I get all that type of stuff. I just want to make sure that we are talking, or you guys are thinking apples to apples on this whole procedure that you're in the middle of right now. There's so many different facets when you're talking about doing a collection on a municipality versus what we call subscription. So you have a certain amount of stops per town. It's a whole different animal. I think it's been said here in this room, we kind of have it down to a science because we have been doing this since John Casella did it with his brother with one truck 100 years ago. And now we have pretty much every municipal contract in Southern Maine. Having a truck for this contract, and I don't care if it's a new packer or not, trucks break down. And I just want to make sure everybody thinks long and hard about, what is the backup situation? Is there a backup truck? You're talking about two different commodities. You're talking about one single truck trying to do two commodities, not even a split body truck. What happens when that breaks down? Whether it's a whether it's a 1 ton, 550, whatever it is, that doesn't really support what the RFP is talking about, which really states that it has to be a compaction truck. It talks about compaction on route, that type of stuff. If you're doing this type of stuff with a stake body truck, you can't contain the recycling. You can't contain the swill from the trash. DEP has a real issue with that. We spend a lot of money because we have a lot of trucks, but we make sure all of our permitting is done. We make sure that all of our trucks have a non-hazzy sticker on them. What a non-hazzy sticker means, by the way, is in order to haul non-hazardous material, different categories, but trash is one category. If you're picking up 6 residents within a town, you've got to have that. I don't care if you're driving a half-ton, 1 ton, a 550, you have to have that. If not, you're running illegally right now. So that's something to think about. You can't run drivers all hours of the night. You might be able to do it with a pickup truck or a 1 ton because that's a Class C license. It's a whole different animal when you get into a packer truck. Now you need to have a CDL driver. There's a lot of DOT regulations about that, with time off in between shifts, how many hours you can run on a shift. There's just a lot to do with that. And I want to make sure we're talking apples to apples. And we have 150 drivers. I get 200 trucks in my fleet that when something breaks down, we can get it done. We have guys that are legal to do it. We have mechanics on duty 24/7. It's no disrespect, but it's a completely different animal than doing subscription type collection.
Yeah, and I might add to what Nate is saying as well. I know a lot of the drivers and the laborers that are employed with Pine Tree. They live here in your local community. In my local community, we employ a lot of people because we do have many contracts. Our drivers are radio dispatched, so we have our main dispatch center down in Scarborough. So if Mr. Smith calls down the street and has a problem, he sees the truck go by and maybe they miss something, he can call in, and while the truck is still out there, we can radio them and he can go back and get it. We don't allow our drivers on a cell phone at all.
It's a federal law. Once you have a CDL license, you cannot be on a cell phone.
You are not supposed to be on a cell phone, and it is mandatory in the company. So with that said, how do we communicate with them? All of those trucks are equipped with radio dispatch. All of our drivers are drug screened. They have to be screened, and they go through quite an application process before they get hired. So kind of getting to what Nate was saying, apples and oranges versus apples and apples, another key point, I'm dating myself, but I remember the days of your silver bullets. And I remember working with Terry and the group back then and understanding what this town struggled with. I personally would hate to see this community go backwards in your recycling program. We just built a facility in Lewiston in conjunction with the city of Lewiston where all of your material goes now to be processed. Towns are not going back to separated. They're not reversing back to separated. They're going forward with single stream. Why? Because of the volumes that you're diverting out of your waste stream. Unfortunately, the commodity markets aren't what they were a couple of years ago. The markets have not been good. So we're paying at the facility per ton to have your material processed, which is part of the reflection in your pricing. We hope it gets better, but no one has a crystal ball to be able to determine that. But I did want to share with you, I go back quite a ways when your community struggled with the recycling, and when Pine Tree stepped up to the plate, we were shipping your material down to our facility in Charlestown to have it separated and processed. Now we're able to get it into Lewiston and keep it local. Because there are really only 2 places in the state of Maine that accept a single stream sort of all that material. So keep in mind, bulky rigids would no longer be acceptable if you go back to separation. I'm not sure what your list of recyclables is actually going to look like. Do you have to go back to taking labels off of your tin cans? I don't know. All I know is that towns, I get calls at least once a week from new communities that are interested in taking a look at the program because of its success. So I just wanted to share my sincere years back with your community and how well you folks have done. I brag about Durham when I'm out at new communities because you folks do such a phenomenal job out here. You really do.
One question that I would have, because you do have the size that you have and the number of towns, and so I would anticipate that there would be some transfer of economies of scale for a company your size versus a company Mr. Tice's size, and we're responsible to the taxpayers, and he's beating you on average of almost $20,000 averaged out per year.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a hard thing for us to justify to taxpayers because that's coming out of their pockets. And so it's, given your scale, I would actually have really expected to see this go the other way because you do have
Well,
such volume and
Yeah.
the thing about that is to keep in mind is, a couple things. So let me touch on the commodity markets a little bit. So the way recycling always worked was, it was kind of a neutral zero for us. Sometimes, depending on what the markets were, it might cost us $1 or $2 to get rid of it, or make $1 or $2, depending on how that works. So it was cost zero. So we've always been able to do zero sort for zero. Now those markets have changed, and I don't anticipate that they're going to go back to zero ever. We're down to $20 a ton right now. Currently, it was as much as $38 a ton 4 months ago. So those markets have just changed. As far as the economy of scale, I guess the only thing I can say is because we do have this experience, we do know our true costs on these trucks. And I don't care, we get brand new trucks, a few every year too. The maintenance costs, especially if you're brand new to it, is just phenomenal, new or not. And the cost of trucking goes up every year. Tires, parts, fuel's down right now, which is great. 3 years from now, we don't know where that's going to go. There's a real cost to running these trucks. I mean, it's staggering actually at some points. So we understand that because we do have so many of these trucks in our fleet. We understand true costs. So it's not about it's not about that piece. If that answers your question at all. If anything, we know our true costs dead nuts, and we know what it costs to get quality CDL drivers right now that can pass the random drug screens, and that are going to show up every day because we're competing with the Shaw Brothers of the world. And then this time of year we compete with the oil guys that pay $24, $25. So our niche is how do we find these guys that are going to be here for 4 years, 8 years, 10 years from now and make careers with us. There's a cost to that, and there's a cost to those mechanics that know how to maintain the trucks. Those trucks are so computerized right now that it's not basic maintenance 101 anymore. I mean, these guys have software and laptops, and it's just phenomenal what's in a trash truck these days. It's not old school trash anymore. So there's a cost to that, and we also try to give these guys a raise every year. So we did factor in all of those factors into our pricing. And we thought it would be competitive. It's tough to compete with somebody smaller, newer. I think if you had a Waste Management that bid on this in the RFP, you'd see pricing the same as ours, probably if not more. The true trash companies that do this stuff understand these costs, and that's what our price reflects. And to get the service that you guys all seem to like, you got to have that ability.
So for my taxpayers, right now you're nailing us about $4,000 increase every year. So that's going to be the norm from now on, if not more, like you said. Or fuel goes up after this 3 years, you're going to be enough. Right now you're going 4,000. You're adding 4,000 every year a year. Is that good? Must be good.
We did
You're doing that.
We did a 2%. Years 2 and 3.
And just to give you an idea, in calendar year 2015, this town produced 270.83 tons of zero sort recycling. That is huge, considering what your trash number is. When you run $20 a ton against that, that's just over $5,400. And we were paying 28 earlier this year.
38.
Or was it 38? So it's coming down a little bit, but I just ran the $20 on that for 2015, and we were paying more last year. And that's something we had to
I
absorb.
mean, the numbers you guys got to deal with on your tag weights and everything, I understand that. I just got to tell my taxpayers.
Oh, I understand.
It's going to be $4,000 a year if we go with you guys
Oh,
every
yeah.
year. I mean, and then if it goes into another 3 years, it looks like it's just going to keep on climbing. This ain't going to plateau off at all. You know what I mean? It's just.
Well, that's not true either because
Well, you said you just get new equipment and that costs money and your guys cost money, and you just said that fuel's gonna go up, so that's probably gonna cost money. So I don't see you ever plateauing off and not raising us tax and make us pay more.
Well, there's actually different
Not
ways.
pay more.
There's different ways to do trash collection too. So now the thing that's coming down the pike, and it's coming down very, very fast for municipalities, is food waste.
Yep.
So pulling your food waste out of the trash, which you're paying, I don't know what you're paying, $70 call it for disposal on trash. So now you start to pull the food waste out, right? There's a way, that's like when recycling first came, right? Food waste is where recycling was 8-9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming fast and furious. You guys are primed to go to an automated system.
Mm.
So now we're talking about taking the truck down to an automated system. You get 2 cars per resident. What we typically find with this Cadillac program, residents love it because it's easy. It's a cart program. We can save money because of the efficiencies of the truck, pass that along. And then you can, if you really want to get crazy, you can look at doing a third toter if this thing really kicks in. Same truck coming down the same road, just, it has 3 compartments, and that's, we have the ability to do that. all kinds of savings there. Big upfront cost.
Hmm.
You know, you're talking about 2 cars, 3 cars per home. Trucks are more expensive, all that type of stuff. But when we run the numbers, usually it's a little more or break even with a longer term contract, because we can depreciate. We can buy those cars, depreciate them over a 10-year contract. All of a sudden, the numbers start to make sense.
Right.
So there's different ways to collect trash, which can bring savings in. But yeah, I mean, we can't stop fuel. Fuel's fuel. You know, tires are tires. We have no control over that.
And like I said, we can only go on the pitch of the 3, what you gave us for 3 years here.
Yeah.
And it's an $8,000 increase from year 1 to year 3.
Terry, you have a question?
Yeah, what is the percentage increase from this contract to the last contract?
Year 1? First year?
For the last 3 years as opposed to this 3 years?
So year 3 of this the one we're on right now, to year 1 of this one, basically, is what you're asking.
It's a 2%. It's like 13,000.
What?
Right? No, that was the difference.
Yeah, no, it's like the money difference is 15.3 or 15, I did it.
Yeah, that's because I was thinking it was like 192 or 193 or something like that.
Oh, what the price was, okay, I can tell you, I do have that. Let's see.
Because I know you actually, at the beginning of the last year's contract, or the last contract, you dropped the price from the time before, and then you started increasing. But I believe this is the increase from year 3 of this to year 1 of the next one is a pretty steep increase.
Yeah, okay, right now you're at 198 and some change, and year 1 is 2025.
So that's actually about 4%, a little more than 4%. Sorry, 2%.
2%.
It's
Yeah,
2%.
4,000, 2%, yes,
Nope.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2%.
Like I said,
I have some questions on what the gentleman there was just discussing on this bucket pickup thing, or whatever it is. First of all, I want to go back, and I want to look at, I didn't get this year's figures for some reason, but the trash tag sales in 2015 was 15,586, with a municipal waste tonnage of, I'm assuming these are tons, 567.71 tons, is that correct?
That's correct, Terry.
Okay. What I'm concerned about is, and I'll tell you my reasoning here in a minute, as to date, we've only brought in $11,484 for trash tags, which is a $4,000 decrease in trash tag sales.
No, it's not. We're only 10 months through the year. You've got, I'll tell you, I'll calculate it out so that we can have a better figure.
And the other thing, Terry, is you'll find that most of our sales are at the end of the year, because this is now when
People
people
used
are
up all their
running
free
out.
tags at that point, yeah.
Well, that's the reason that I was asking for the tonnage, so I could compare the tonnage with the trash sale. Now, that being said, okay, is with this new system that Pine Tree is proposing with the buckets, does the driver get out of the truck?
No.
How does he take the tag off the buckets? How does he make sure that this is a 30-pound bag and not a 60-pound container? Because we have a tag system in this town, which Karen knows, when we had the solid waste committee, and that was decades ago.
Right.
All right, and we implemented this system was to encourage, and if you want to use another word, force more recycling. Okay, and it has worked phenomenal. But now you're proposing a lift truck that the driver never gets out of the truck. He's not gonna remove the trash tag. He's not gonna know what this bucket's gonna weigh. And it's a 30-pound limit. And if it was 35 or 40, who cares? You know what I mean? But this is the reason we've done this, and I would like to know is how you're going to enforce the rules that the town voted on to make this whole system work.
Yep. All right, so a couple things. So I'm not really proposing that system. I'm just talking about what's out there for technology, and we do run those systems
You
now.
did state that this would be a possible cost saving to
Yep.
the town,
Possible, yep.
okay?
So there's different ways to do it. So we do the cart system with towns that have paper bag currently. We do this in Kennebunk. So one of their questions was, how do we enforce that we're still getting our bag revenue? So, you know, these trucks have camera systems, and we use a tagging system on our own. So for that type of program, we've made that work for them. These carts all have tags in them, scanners basically. The trucks have scanners, the carts all have tags. Another way to do this type of program is a pay per lift versus a pay per stop type deal. So you can look at, you know, a recycling tote is free to lift, and a trash tote costs whatever that number is, you know, $12 a week or whatever. So that is another way to try to force the recycling piece. There's so many, and we could spend, and we'd be happy to come back in, but I don't think you have enough time tonight. There's so many different ways to tailor a program with this system that we could maybe make this work.
Do you understand what?
I understand what you're talking, and we had the same, because they put this as an option on the last contract too. We had the exact same concern that if they want to move towards this and, you know, offer us some incentives to do that, we've got to figure out a way to keep a system similar to what we have in place right now to incur, you know, and so I know we're aware of it and they're aware of it. It's definitely not anything that's going to happen right away. I don't believe they've not come to us with a proposal saying, here's what we can do for you and here's what it can do to your bottom line and so on. Because that would definitely have to be a consideration on anything, because as you've stated, that is probably one of the main reasons that we have the recycling program that we do, and that we do as well as we do.
I would just add to that, it's not just encouraging recycling. I think it's also there's a fairness element to it, whereas households that produce more trash are going to incur more expense by purchasing tags, whereas households that don't have to pay quite as much. So there's a fairness element too on top of the recycling promotions.
And just so you know, Terry, if I calculated this out at steady a steady rate and not trying to say, hey, we're near the end of the year, we're going to sell more tags, it would be $13,780. So we'd be off by about $1,700. $1,800 from last year's. My guess is it'll be closer than that because people buy more tags as we get to the end of the year. But
Well, it's just my concern is I just want to make sure that whoever gets the contract is enforcing this tag system that we, and Karen was involved in it, we worked on this a long time.
I'd actually like to note something on here too. If you look at 2012, revenues from tag sales was considerably lower than it is now, and the curbside pickup was considerably higher, and that was because we had talked with Pine Tree about making sure that they adhered to it, because it had gotten a little lax around that time. Some
People
of the
just
rules.
stuck a tag on their can and that
And,
same tag would go for weeks.
You can actually see at 2013 there was a big jump, and I think that was largely due to Pine Tree cracking down and making sure that they were following the rules in place.
Just a concerned citizen.
Yep, and we understand over here. Any other questions for Pine Tree from anyone? Do you want to speak to anything more from what was said from Pine Tree at all?
I'll just make one comment that, talking about the regular recycling, zero sort versus the extra recycling. We're prepared to do whatever is best for the town of Durham. And that's also gonna save Durham and, ultimately be profitable for all of them involved. I guess there's a benefit of me being in the truck every day. There are some towns going to single sort, but the majority of the towns that I service can't stand single sort because it costs them more money. They make more money selling their cardboard, their number 2 plastic and all that. I'm at the facilities all the time, talking to them what the market's like. And they're telling me all the time, because I like to know, because I can engage in what I am helping them out with, what I'm making them. So from what I'm seeing, Bridgeton is the only town out of, let's say, 14 that I currently service that actually participates in single sort. So there still is value in the recycling business, and the prices are going up.
One thing I actually, based on something they said, I'm going to request and see if we can get is, if you can get us a list of allowable recyclables, because we already know what the allowables are for them, so that we can do a comparison. If we could get a list of the allowable recyclables, and if there's a difference between, I highly doubt we're going to go back to sorting them, but if there's a difference in what's allowed between single sort and sorted, what that difference is too. But I very highly doubt we'd go back.
Yeah, and I will state on that. I mean, I'm not requesting that you can have all your residents have multiple buckets outside their house. A lot of the towns that we have right now have one bag of recyclables, and our drivers take that and they'll put it into the appropriate. It's quick, and so we've been trained to do that, whatever is the most convenient. I'm not looking to come in here and change the way, I don't reinvent the wheel. If it's working, I'll keep on it. I'm just seeing from what my experience is, being in the trucks, seeing what works for a lot of the towns, and what doesn't.
I wanted to add one thing, because as I mentioned, my parents live in Oxford, so I wasn't quite familiar with Tice Waste Management. But it's rather interesting, because I know that you had mentioned that your material would go to Mechanic Falls, and you have a facility in Norway and Paris that's run by Oxford County, and they're disbanding completely next year. And the towns Livermore, Greenwood, Woodstock, Bethel, Hanover, Newry, and I can go on, they've all switched to zero sort. And that's the reason why that facility is disbanding next year and will no longer be available. So I was kind of curious as to why the material didn't go back to Norway, but now I understand. So, but the fact of the matter is, any town that is interested in looking at a single stream program, 9 out of 10 times they go on board, and they love it. They absolutely love it. So.
Okay. Thank you all
Thank
for
you.
coming in tonight. And you look like you had another question, Terry?
No.
Okay.
You sure?
Not yet.
No. But thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you.
in.
Thank you.
This is going to be a process for us.
I'm sure.
But we'll keep you informed as to decisions and so on, and what's going to be on the warrant and so on.
And feel free to reach out to us if you have any more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
I mean, in the past, it was a company, I think from Auburn, used to get involved with this bid. Did they not
No.
choose to participate this year?
These were the only two, and
Waste
actually
management.
3 years ago, we only had one. But no, we did not get any from the, I do know, like, about maybe 9 years ago, they put in a bid and so on, but I haven't seen anything from them in the last 6 years. Yeah. Anything else from the budget committee?
One question, and I don't understand the legalities of how the bid process works, but, you know, what you just said, you know, the fact that, you know, I wonder if perhaps Pine Tree wasn't as sharp with their pencil as maybe they would have been, you know, since, you know, knowing last time they were the only bid, you know, if there was a similar assumption this time. Is there an opportunity for like a second round, or how does that go?
No. It's completely unfair to the people who have bid to do that. Yeah.
How they know the prices, anybody can beat them.
Right.
Yep.
You know.
And that's why I was kind of drilling them under 4,000 every year. I mean, it's not going to stop.
Yeah,
We've
it's
seen
gone
that
up
for the
every year
previous
since
3
I've been on
years.
the
I mean,
board.
it's not going to stop.
No,
Our
well,
taxpayers
since
going to
you've
keep on
been,
paying
yes.
more and more money to get rid of the trash.
But you didn't go through the last one, right? We were already in the
I was here
contract.
just in time for the last 3-year proposal.
That was, and that was surprising, though. Our last one, it actually stepped back on year one and then started increasing again after that, but it
I mean,
didn't,
just-
that was unusual.
Just think of it. We're paying over $200,000 now to get rid of our trash. I mean, that's quite a chunk of change. That's a lot.
And that was why we had the companies in tonight, was because the difference between the two bids was so large that it really did raise some questions as to, you know, was this a viable?
No, I think that's a good conversation. I think, again, clearly the difference between the two companies and the risk you would take, having this
And that-
first year or so fall flat in its face.
I mean, that's the biggest question for me. What, it's a high risk, and that's where, if I didn't see that high risk, if he already had some of this, if he was doing one other town, something like that, it would make the decision much, much easier. But
I ain't going to fault the guy if he hasn't. I mean, I ain't going to put him down when he hasn't even. I ain't going to say he's going to fail and he hasn't even started. You know, who knows? He could be the best. I ain't going to do that to him either. You know.
And if he fails, it's like we said, you know,
Breach of contract.
that's breach of contract. If he doesn't meet the terms of the contract, that's breach of contract right there. So
You think-
there's our out.
Yeah, and you
You just
think,
have to
fine.
be, you have to be careful if you, this isn't that I'm making a decision either way, just because we went through this with a whole lot smaller contract earlier this year, and the guy didn't fulfill his contract, even though he said he read it and signed it, and we had to go in another direction. And the same thing could happen here. You just have to be careful if you hire a different contract than what you've had for so many years, and it doesn't pan out, and you got to go back to somebody else. That price could go up a whole lot more than what it looks like here now, because now they know they got you, type of thing. So you have to kind of weigh that out too. I mean, I don't want to go with the most expensive, and I don't want to go with the cheapest. I try to look at it as, what am I getting for my dollar, and is this the best for the town? We don't need to go backwards at all, so.
There's going to be some.
And I was happy with the things he said. I'm just trying to weigh everything else out.
There'll be discussion on the floor, I'm sure.
Well, and, you know, I think he's a hardworking guy trying to start
Absolutely, absolutely.
business, and
Hey,
that's.
10 years, he wants to be their competitor, so that's only one way to do it.
did you have something, Kevin?
No, I'm good. I'll wait for the discussion on the floor.
That's
So, to be honest, I would value we've got to make a decision what we're going to present to you in February. I'd value any of your inputs ahead of time too on this, because this isn't going to be I don't think this is going to be an easy decision.
Good.
Listen, the only thing I was gonna say is that, you know, I understand, you know, that there is a, 20,000-ish difference, and, you know, if you look at 1,650 households in town, it's an extra $12 per household per year. To do this. So when you start to break it down, it's not a huge impact to a typical household. I understand that, you know, dollars add up to more dollars, and it all adds up. But I worry about, like Mike said, there are very few, like next to roads, trash is probably the most visible public service that we offer, and I would really hate to risk going backwards on that.
Other than fire and.
Well, we hope they're not so visible.
Unless there's flames coming out of my house, I don't want them visible, yeah.
For me, one of the big things was that weekend that that's huge, and there's a lot of trucks down there, and that's like I said, I don't know where some of these people get the stuff, but the same people get the same amount of stuff every year somehow, so.
But I did have to, I mean, I had to give that guy credit that he'd already met with vendors and already had
Oh, yeah.
people queued up to cover that. He didn't just go into it blind and figure he'd sort it out when he got there.
No, that was a good presentation. What I was wishing that there was somebody else, that you had actually three,
Yeah, it would have been nice, but
someone with more experience.
Waste management or tornadoes.
Terry, yeah.
You said that, or somebody said that you couldn't go back and ask Pine Tree to sharpen their pencil. But it doesn't mean that you have to accept the bids either.
No, we can, I mean, we could throw everything out and start over, but we really don't have the time to, we're running out of time because we have to have something ready by April, really.
We gotta have something ready for the budget committee.
Yeah, so.
You want us to tell the budget committee we turned down almost $20,000 a year savings? Is that what you want me to tell you guys and you guys show up?
Well, the other thing
That's why we invited you to this meeting.
And I'm gonna throw this out there, is I question the automatic 2 or 4% increase. And it was mentioned here tonight, the price of fuel and oil and whatever. No, the price of fuel has dropped.
Yeah.
And it's dropped hard. I mean, it's not dropped 10 cents. It's what, $1, $1.50 cheaper per gallon than it was when the last contract came out.
And that's it, is it's not that they're thinking about what are we gonna have to worry about, he's just saying it's a flat 2% every
That's
year.
right. That's what I was trying to get him. I was trying to get him on that, and we all know that fuel's gone down, but he keeps on giving us 2%.
Yeah, he jumped right
You
out.
know what I
with
mean? He had
2%.
no
And-
saying, we're gonna do easy on you guys.
And if you take a look at this contract, and if it's gonna continue to rise at the rate of 2% and 3% a year, okay, at some point, it's gonna be unattainable.
Right, look 10 years down the road.
Right.
That's what I'm looking at for my taxpayers, for me sitting here.
So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't wanna be in your position, but
Well, you're not gonna be in our position, but you're still gonna be making a recommendation.
That's right.
One of the Pine Tree folks asked about something that I don't know if he provided, Mr. Tice provided the information, or if you could add it to your follow-ups with him, is they raised some issues with regard to, once you get to a certain size truck, the licensing changes for the drivers, and then some environmental concerns like control of, I don't know, I can't remember the term, the swill from the trash, like how he controls that.
We did actually ask him about the environmental stuff, and he actually replied to that.
But they were talking about him also using stake body trucks, and I think my recollection was that he made it clear that they were using dump bodies, which would be, if they're full dump bodies, then that wouldn't be oozing out the sides.
Well, I mean, for trash, he's gonna be using the compactor. For the recycling, he's gonna be using the dump bodies. And the problem with that is if he doesn't cover it, they're open tops and you're gonna have cardboard and papers and stuff flying out.
But he said he would cover it.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm wondering how that works, but that's up to him to decide. That's
Right, Pine Tree was trying to sign their penny by saying about drug testing and everything, which is their company, and they have to do it. A smaller company don't have to do drug testing on their Class B and A drivers. They don't have to if they don't want to. That's up to them.
If they have a certain license, you have to be drug tested.
No, you don't.
We don't?
No, you don't.
I thought
Well,
you did
okay,
CDL, it's an automatic,
Right.
you have to be tested.
No, you
yearly,
Yeah.
you gotta have a doctor's certificate, they won't renew your license.
No, they don't.
That's only across state.
That's right. That's only intrastate, not interstate. That's right. All right.
I just took that course the other day.
So, have we beat this to death for tonight? I'm sure we're gonna beat it some more.
Oh, we're gonna pound on this hard.
All right, thank
Yeah, can we
you
get
for
on to
coming
action
in.
item B now? Yeah.
Yeah, can we go to B?
Now, can we just
We
accept
wanted to give you a
the
preview of
That's an hour.
We've already
And we wanted to give you a preview.
You didn't let us down, Terry.
Executive session, so
but since we have all that executive session, we could just.
I don't know. Fire chief, we can excuse him too, huh?
Don't look like that anyway. Okay.
Fire chief or what?
He does have a report. He does have something to report. So,
Well, I don't care whether you're happy, but you're okay with you.
Let's continue our meeting.
You never respond.
As soon as you're done with the conversation, of course.
thank you.
Didn't
All
you
right.
stay for the rest of the meeting? I'm shocked.
So next up, act on website request for proposal. We had quite a number of proposals. Do you remember how many?
12 or 13.
12 or 13 proposals ranging anywhere from about 6,000 to 48,000. And Shannon has taken them and started going over them, looking at them, and is going to have the telecommunications committee look at them and come back in a couple weeks or 4 weeks, whenever they can, with some recommendations on that. There are actually some that look like they might be decent, but the 48,000, not really, but. All right, C, act on Public Works trailer. We did hear the road commissioner says we can do the electrics, so we have the bid here.
He said he already did.
He may have, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought he said.
And that was the only bid that we received.
Hold on.
Went through the whole process, all I gotta do is just.
Yeah. So it's a formality.
doable.
Yeah. So the bid, the only bid we got was for $252, and from Larrabee Construction. I am open for a motion.
Make most, we accept the bid, the 200, and what's it, $252
$252.
from Larrabee Construction.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
252?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because if somebody bids 250, you do 2 over.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, credit card discussion.
Yeah. So the last time I came to you with this, we were all excited about going to get the Capital One credit card until I figured out through another manager and also through going online that not only if I get the Capital One credit card for the town, do I have to put my name and my credit rating in there, which may or may
Good
not
idea.
help, I don't know. But I'm also liable for any charges that
Good
occur.
idea.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Androscoggin Bank has a brand-new credit card for governmental entities where that is not true. And so I would like permission to go through Androscoggin Bank and get a credit card.
And actually looking at the reward, it looks like the rewards are very similar,
Yes.
about 1.5%.
I move that we authorize the town administrator to apply for a credit card for the town's use through Androscoggin Bank.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Waiver of foreclosure on the Emerson Tire Dump.
What's that about?
I didn't give you guys a copy of it, but every year we lien the Emerson Tire Dump. They're years and years behind on their taxes, but we don't want to own it because of the liability involved. So every year we have to waive the foreclosure. And so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for you guys to vote to waive the foreclosure on the tire dump.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anybody want to own it? All in favor?
No, but
Who seconded it?
what happens as far as it ever getting cleaned up? I mean,
Well, it's
we
been
keep
cleaned-
waiving the foreclosure, but it just
No
keeps.
tires there anymore.
There's no tires there anymore. It's been cleaned up. The EPA did that. No, DEP.
Yeah.
One of those.
That'd be a good question,
organizations.
House Representative.
But
And they, there's I believe there's a $2 million lien on that property by the organization that cleaned it up.
Right.
And there has been some interest by a gentleman who wanted to purchase the property for use with ATVs and hunting and stuff like that. And we've been working at trying to encourage this, but a lot of it remains to be seen. And if he ever really became interested, he would probably come before the board and ask us to waive some of those.
But we
taxes.
don't ever want to be in the chain of ownership of this
Right.
property.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I just was curious as to sort of the
When the
broader
state was cleaning it
status.
up, they carved, they said it was carved in blood, the contract, but we never saw the blood,
That's right.
so.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to waive the foreclosure on the Emerson Tire Dump. All in favor? Motion carries. Email regarding the county budget seat. Was that in here?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
somewhere, yeah.
And basically, because the position that was vacated was from the person was from the town of Durham, the town of Durham has the opportunity to appoint somebody to fill that.
I appoint Kevin New.
Second.
But, so, actually, Mark has been kind of doing some legwork around, seeing if he can find anybody that would be willing to.
Any bites?
Not yet, but I talked with Ellie Espling, and she said call Paul Chase and run this by him. He may have someone in mind, so I'll try that before we go any further.
So,
Unless Kevin really wants to step up.
the budget season this year is basically done. Tomorrow is the public hearing and basically the last meeting of the budget committee for this year. So
It's a good time to get in.
Good time to get in, it really is.
there's probably really no real rush at this point. However, I would like to be able to name somebody or kick it back so that the other communities have the ability to name someone. So just want to keep on this and not forget about it until next year, because our communities really need somebody to represent them.
I'll try to get a hold of him tomorrow if I can, or something before the end of the week, and let you know what I find out.
All right, G, notice of return for RSU 5 vote.
Well, yeah, there's a vote coming up in January regarding the track and field, and what you guys need to sign is something.
Do we actually have to vote on it, or do we just have to sign it?
I think you just need to sign it.
What am I signing before I sign it?
Huh?
What am I signing before I sign it?
It's a, you have countersigned by the board. It's the posting of the notice of return. So basically you're posting.
The election
know.
I'm
notice.
signing for what?
It's basically the election notice.
Yeah, it's the election notice.
Right,
That's what I was reading, yeah.
Does it
Is it
include the
January?
question as to the
Yes.
bond issues for the
Yes.
lights and using the savings for the building and
Yeah.
repurposing the
It's-
money for the fields
If
and
you
borrowing
care
some
to read it,
additional
it's-
money?
It's
all in here.
it's very, very wordy.
I'm just asking before
Yeah.
I give my signature for something.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, it's,
curious.
Yeah, we're
It's
not
purely formal.
volunteer to pay for the
Formality.
field, right?
Right.
Right.
Or in favor of it at all.
No.
Well, this isn't the vote yet.
Okay.
This
and the
is,
board isn't voting, I mean,
no,
individuals
this is to
will-
set up the vote for the
Yes.
town to vote.
Yes.
And,
Just wondering.
all
But I know
right.
I've been watching the meetings, and I know there's been a lot of back and forth about how the questions were gonna be phrased, so I didn't know if it had actually been finalized.
Is that the deal?
No, we're not tabling it. We're going to sign it.
We're gonna
but we
sign
don't-
it
We
now.
don't need to vote on it. It's
Okay.
just a signature. Departments and committees, the code enforcement officer has been excused this evening. Chief?
I think you have a copy of my report.
Yes.
I do. Somewhere, there it is. Where's the winner now?
A&B Masonry, the catch basin at the station. We completed the catch basin at the station, otherwise then I don't have the cover there. But that piece of it's done. I'm assuming probably some fill's gotta go back in around it. I gotta get a hold of Corcoran, see if there's any fill around it or not. I know they came out and they set the level and the height for it, so and they talked about, when I get a hold of them the last time around, they talked about coming out the tail end of this week, or first part of next week to actually start the paving piece of it. The striping quote that I brought before you, we went to call and coordinate
For
it.
nothing, huh?
Well, what we got back for feedback was that it was a two-part deal, that they didn't plan on doing cold weather, even though we told them that there was gonna be paving, so I don't know where it's gonna end up.
Right now, I'm not ready to change it. Be honest with you, at this point, I'm not sure we can get it before cold weather sets in or not, and we might be better off to just say, nah, it's gonna get too cold, we wait until next year, put the lines on it and stuff.
You
I
got
don't know
some-
where it's gonna go.
They're showing up tomorrow morning to do this parking lot and mine.
Good.
So tomorrow's warm, so I don't know.
You can't do mine, though.
No, I know.
Just easy.
So I don't know if that'll affect whether they do yours or not. I'm telling you, they're doing this one.
Well, is that gonna affect the price?
Well, actually, one of what, I'm sure their price, the price for your parking lot, I'm sure offset the cost of my parking lot in this price quote, so that it was probably virtually back up to the same thing again.
Calvin, you dug around that. You something you're gonna be able to backfill around
I
that?
was planning on backfilling it tomorrow, actually. It's
Good,
going
so
good
that would
with the compactor and pound.
Be up to grade for you.
We're just waiting for that cover. I don't know what he's got over that one. I don't know what he's covering that with. There's
Okay.
some kind of a frame that we can take down now. It must be cured by now, I would think. So we just take that off and I can backfill that with gravel and compact it. I can
Frame.
compact it with 1.5 inch gravel.
I'm not sure what you're referring to as in regard to frame.
What do you put on the top of that, do you know? Under that tarp?
Under the top,
Yeah, what's he got on there?
he's got a metal ring on the top of the cover.
Yep.
Where it was
All right, we're all
all
set.
along, he
No,
had.
he's all set, because he's
I
just
can
gonna do
take that.
gravel.
I can take
He's gonna go gravel under all that.
Yeah.
Must be some wood framing, what do you call it?
Form,
Forms, yeah. There must be some form of some sort in there that's holding that together. That
I don't believe
blocked
so.
it.
they just put plastic over it. Looks square. Looks rectangular.
Yeah, it did. He actually used bricks. Used bricks to form the pieces that he needed and stuff, so there was no form there that I know of.
but we're working on it tomorrow.
I'll uncover it tomorrow. We'll backfill it.
Okay, thank you. There you go.
Well, back to that price, because when we went back and forth, we got you had the better price, but didn't that include, what I'm asking, I guess, is if he's gonna have to make out 2 trips, one here and then maybe in the spring there, is that gonna affect this price? See what you probably think is.
May not. I really haven't, we called, tried to schedule it, and he said, well, no, that was a 2-piece, we did them both at the same time, and it wasn't for cold weather, even though we told him about the paving. If Calvin has replaced our piece by doing his parking lot, then they're probably back at virtually the same price. So, it may impact me in the future, but I'm sure that's why.
You got LeMay's doing
didn't
yours?
change.
As long as they're doing this one for $350, right? Is that, did he give you-
That was my understanding, he didn't mention anything about the
You wanna just-
change in price.
You wanna just have him write you up something before, well, it's tomorrow to close, so.
Yeah,
Calvin, LeMay's is doing yours?
I assume, I just figured it was a unit price, whatever he's charging you per foot.
All right, that's what you got, same person, right?
I would just extend that, yeah.
Okay.
I would imagine it's gonna be the same price per foot.
yeah, but yours would be a lot less than either mine or Chief's though, because you only have 6 spots.
Right, yeah.
So, they didn't mention to me, is it because you're not getting it done this year, is that what's going on?
Well,
Diana
pavement
actually
done.
said she
He's
called
not
over
ready
and
yet.
talked to you about it.
Okay,
There's no pavement. He doesn't have any pavement yet.
okay. No, not yet, but you were planning, I thought it was scheduled like November 12th or something like that.
But now they're saying it would be
It-
cold weather application, so
Okay,
there's a.
sorry, I was out of the room for a second.
I understand what you're saying.
We're good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good now, I just
One way or
wanted
the other, I'll get it.
I'm solid.
But I'm not sure if it'll be that $650 price, nor am I sure it will be him. Nor am I sure we're gonna have time after the paving to get it.
Right, well, if it ain't done this year, then obviously the
Yep.
time frame is
If I
so
can
far
get 'em-
that it would be different probably.
If I can get him, I know you guys approved it for $650, so if I can get him for
Right.
$650, and it'll work for this year, I'm gonna make it happen this
Golden.
year.
Golden.
I'd rather do that than wait till spring.
Yeah, well, if it were, yeah, that's fine.
All right, Curtis Dimick has been selected to serve as the Assistant Chief and the Assistant EMA Director. You guys typically appoint the deputies as well as the Assistant EMA Director. I guess I'd ask that you guys also consider appointing him to the position.
We don't have appointment
I
papers
don't have
right now.
appointment papers, but I can make
For next
one.
meeting, yeah. Well,
The recruitment on 10/24 actually cost a little bit of money to get the information out there, but it worked better than the other 2 recruitments that I've held, because the other 2 recruitments, like I said, we had maybe 1 or 2 people show up for for the recruitment part of it, and none of them follow through with applications. At this particular event, we had 6 people the night of the event, and then we had 3 people before and after. And out of those 9, we ended up with 4 applications, which actually is what it says here, but I had one more come back today and give me their application. So we got 5 applications out of it. They're progressing, the first 4 are progressing to the interview process, so we've already done the background stuff and everything, and it's good to go there. So we could have 4 or 5. None of them already have licenses or certifications, but we'll work on that.
Hey, we'll start, what do we
We'll work on that. Meeting room floor project, that started last Friday. He's got the hole all cut there. Put the rebar in today, planning on pouring on either tomorrow or Thursday. So we should have that poured. And then it's gonna set until probably the end of November, first part of December, before we put the tiles on it. Before he actually pours tomorrow, I want to try to get in there and make sure that drain, because that drain was never really plugged. That floor drain that I talked about, what could be the culprit, it was never really plugged. The floor drain was pulled off there, it was capped off with concrete and then left like that. So I don't know if that might have been our issue all this time. So see if I can't get some paper down there and get it partially plugged, and then when he does his pour, he'll get another couple of feet of concrete into it and stuff. So hopefully that'll stop that. The vent over at the station, that's been fixed. We went to look at the other 2 at Rabbit Road. I gotta go raise that dry hydrant up. I'll probably go raise that dry hydrant up before the week's over, get that raised up and ready to go. The drought PSA, I got a bunch of calls on that. I would think people's wells are probably starting to come back around now, but we had actually more people than were reporting it in the first place. Several people that actually drilled wells or put new wells in. So, but if there are more people out there, it's not free money. It's an opportunity for low interest or no interest loans to make it actually happen. So they just don't want that publicized, so they need to call to get the information, or they can go to the state hotline if they don't really want to call.
And we just, I had a letter in my box, actually 2 letters, one to farm owners, I think, and one to homeowners from the state regarding that. If you want, to just take it out and look at it, it may be information that can be posted or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't want, because they're going to lose the record. Initially, when it came out from EMA, that the PSA that I did the cut and paste from in the first place came from EMA, and it actually included a bunch of them, like the Small Business Administration, Department of Agricultural, Rural Development. And I think actually there was a Main State Housing Authority in the contact information form. I printed it and we've got it in the offices over there. I can get it to you if you guys are going to handle it. You get it, but I still kind of need them to call so that I can make sure we sending the reports up to EMA.
Yep. Okay.
The fire truck rides, those were last Friday. Those went over pretty good. Lance Lemieux from Risk Services was there last Friday too. Last Friday was a busy day. Yeah, even though they were there working on the floor, they still wanted to come in and work on the floor. I was kind of surprised at that when I told them I was going to have an insurance inspector there, but they still came in, worked on the floor. And he went through the station. As far as I know, we'll see when the report comes out, but I'm assuming the only thing he's going to write us up on is they want on our crossways, on the hose beds, they want netting or solid covers on the end of them. Something about in the southern part of the state, a couple of departments have had hoses come off their bed. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll see when the report comes. Maybe if we get to write it.
Screw them on, they won't come off.
What's that?
You screw them on, they won't come off.
Yeah. They're loaded correctly, they won't come off either. Let's see, the pump repairs, those went in last week. Had the pump repairs taken care of. So that piece of it's done. Truck 24, they've been out, that's not on the list, but truck 24, they've been out. They went over that, and it's in the the wiring that goes up through the channel of the ladder was not providing voltage all the way to the tip. So there's a couple of breaks in there. They've got the wiring harness on order, but it has to come from Smeel, and it's specific to that ladder. So once I get it in, I'll get that fixed.
The truck 24 is down right now?
What's that?
Truck 24 is down right now?
No, it's up and running. The only thing it impacts right now is the gun.
The gun?
Yep. If they'd already busted two and started to crack them, it could impact more down the road, but right now it's just over the tip, the nozzle on it. So it's still in service. In fact, we sent it to a training on the 27th. Yeah, 27th. No, I meant the weekend before that. 22nd and 23rd, maybe. We sent it to a training for. Yeah, and the boards on the ramp and stairs to the modulars, those were baking in the sun, so I had them resecured and went over and put waterproofing on them and stuff. It was starting to get pretty hazardous. Never mind the pain when you tried to shovel, it was starting to get pretty hazardous. That's about all I had.
Did you?
I said thank you.
Okay. We gotta have reviews next meeting now.
Okay. I had them for tonight, but that's all right.
Oh, you have them for tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't
If you
aware.
guys want to do them tonight, I have them.
We that's what we had originally planned on, so I think we'll go ahead and do that and get those all out of the ways. But for the board, we will do department head reviews at our next meeting. Right. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner.
Did you give them the email regarding the road paint and the lady that emailed?
Yeah, the complaint, yes.
Okay, so that's in there.
Yes.
You guys read that too. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh. Well, I hear about this frequently, so just thought that that's what this GP cog addresses, the paint on the road. I know we discussed it last meeting. I said I'd get back to you with some prices. So those are the GP cog prices for the 2016 year. I did contact this individual. He has said they'll be back in Maine here probably in a couple of weeks, and he could do it. I said, do you honor these prices for GP cog? And he said, certainly. So we would, I haven't checked to see if there's anything cheaper, but well, if you read the front page, it talks about how they came to this bidder, how they chose the bidder. I mean, but I don't know, it could have been the only bidder, I don't know.
Is there some state guideline as to what, I mean, obviously they give the price for all different types of road striping. Are there state guidelines as to what we would be required to put on that road?
I don't know, I'd have to check that. I would assume any of these would be acceptable, but
So I'm just looking at the double yellow. If I'm reading this right, it's approximately 7.4 cents per lineal feet, which in my quick calculations would be roughly $400 a mile.
yeah, well, so just so you know, if we're talking about doing Runaround Pond, Rabbit, and Quaker Meeting House to get us from Pownell to 125, that is 16,000, 12, 2, and 75. If we add those feet together, there's your feet,
But, no, I was just trying to figure out how much per mile,
What
roughly.
about Swamp Road too? I know a lot of people complain about that.
That's actually what the complaint was, is Swamp
Yeah.
Road.
I thought it was Quake Meeting House she was calling about. But
Oh, because
She
she called it,
referenced-
called River Road,
Oh.
and then to 136,
She referenced all the new pavement though in the letter. I don't know.
but we just
Yeah.
did Swamp Road not that long
Last
ago
year,
either.
right, or the year before.
Yeah. So, yeah, Swamp, I mean, and then just if you pick this road, why didn't you pick this road?
Right,
It's
but-
how do you come to?
Yeah, I was just trying to kind of get an idea. If it's 7 cents a mile, yeah, I mean, 7 cents a foot, I think it's about $400 a mile.
Yeah, so you'd be looking at 1, 2, 3. Well, you're looking at 3.89 to get you from Pownell to Route 136.
Another 2 to get you to probably.
Another 16,000, another 3 almost to get you to.
Okay. And then Swamp and Soper Road would probably be another 3 roughly.
So 4 times.
And then how frequently do they have to be repainted?
Can you? Maybe you can skip. Maybe you could do every other year. I don't know.
Could probably go even longer than that. I'm sure that we don't do
You're
it.
talking close to 10 miles, and so you're talking 4,000 anyway, yeah, on those roads. And there might be some other ones in the future that we might want to think about. Those would probably be the
Stackpole, Auburn, Pownell,
Davis, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I think
so
the roads that go from one town to another, I think.
yeah.
So.
Okay.
So basically, you'd be putting in the budget every year, and you know, $6,000 let's say, a year.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, I spoke to him about because I noticed that some towns had deadlines, and I'm assuming those deadlines are probably due to the temperature. Thinking that one town picked July 1st, and the other one they could have been for budget purposes though, and the other one picked September 1st. The other 3. So I'm not. But I talked to them about that, and they said that it was not a problem. They paint all the time in cold weather. They can paint down to 30. They can paint right down to 30 degrees. And I'd have to check and see if that affects the quality. The other thing is this is a binder coat, so
Right. You don't really. I mean,
we're going to be putting pavement over it next
Yeah.
year. So should we wait until?
I think we can wait.
yeah. Can
And put it in for next year's.
those temporary markings wouldn't last through plowing, would they?
No,
They'd
those
be
just-
stripped right up. Huh?
They just are sticky. They just stick on.
Okay, so they're not even stapled.
No.
No.
Pretty rugged sticky. Pretty rugged glue. Unless you want us to do a very inexpensive.
I'll have snowbankers pretty soon, that'll keep them.
Yeah, that'll help.
Follow the snowbank, you know. So just so you know, that's what's gonna cost if you put that in next year's budget for planning purposes. So ongoing ditching, erosion control work, if you noticed in front of the church on Winter Pond, after that storm, that kind of all washed out. That next driveway, we put a swale on the end of our driveway. Before we did this, every storm, we'd have to go down, well, we didn't go down, but we looked, and it was just deposits of debris all going right down into our basement. So the way I designed it was I put a swale on the end of our driveway so the water would shoot over the top of the driveway and then down a ditch, but we didn't have it armored well enough. There's a lot more water coming there than I thought, so we fixed it. We put the erosion control in, the jute matting, the check dams, and didn't have any problems this last storm, so I think that's gonna work. We noticed another problem up on Barry Baldwin's driveway, coming out of there. That whole thing let go and washed out there, so we had to ditch that, check dam it, erosion control, and so no problems the last storm. I think that'll hold it. We put a nice riprap swale in there, and so I think that's going to work. That worked well. We certainly found any weak points with that 6 inches of rain. We now know where they were going to develop. And what happened on Barry's driveways, everything, and what happened in almost all of them was water comes down their driveway and then dumps all in one spot. So Barry Baldwin's driveway was, 800 feet, 1,000 feet long, and all that water just coming down and dumping out. So we can't very well go up on their property and fix it. So we armored our part so that shouldn't be a problem. The four-wheel drive road there on the right, there was some concern by the landowners there that water would come down and run down their road. That road on the right, just up past Rangdale, that goes right.
Oh, yeah, the big,
So
yeah.
I put a 4% swale in there, down and up, and the water didn't even think about going down that driveway. It just comes right down the swale, no erosion, everything's worked out perfect. We put up a school bus stop ahead sign on Runaround Pond at the bottom of that hill by Barry Baldwin's. The school department paid for it. We send them that bill. They're just gonna forward the bill straight to $202. They told me to send them the bill, so we ordered it, put it up, sent them the bill, so. Our issue, we'll pay for that. I'm gonna pull the crew in Thursday, work on trucks, and then later in the day decided we're gonna do it tomorrow. We're gonna start tomorrow, so getting the fire station. There's a lot of odds and ends we gotta get caught up on, so we're gonna start closing those up. I don't see any more issues with ditching that's really pressing, so I mean, it all needs to get done, but I don't see anything right now that's holding water. We've pretty much drained everything, so. We finished painting the trim boards on the garage. Those are all painted green, they'll match. We put the new radio in the new plow truck, so that's all ready to go. So I already talked about the washouts on Runaround Pond Road and Barry Baldwin. We got the stencils for the paint, stop ahead paint, and we've got paint, we've got stencils. I just have to figure out how we're going to apply it. I mean, normally we spray it, but I don't have a sprayer, and so I may. Most people don't want to lend out their sprayers, because if you, all it takes is a little. It's just something people don't like to lend out. So
If it ain't cleaned properly when you're done, it's junk.
not good. We don't lend out chainsaws or paint sprayers. And the thing is,
Is it a 5-gallon bucket?
Well, I have 5-gallon buckets of paint, but I'm afraid if I roll it on, I'm afraid that it will seep under the.
Yeah, it might a little bit.
And then the lines, when you take it off, won't be.
How thick's the stencil?
They're 8 feet long, so we roll them up from here to the wall, and they're just like. Wow.
They're
You don't
thick.
realize how big those are until you
Yeah,
have
they're
it till you're
thicker than
standing on one.
Well, they're thicker than what we use. We usually roll them, but I didn't know, maybe you could just cut around the edge with a brush and roll the end or something.
These came in a roll.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
understand.
if it bleeds out a little bit, it bleeds out a little bit, you're gonna cover it up next year anyways. I just might get them to stop so they don't cruise through there. Whatever you think.
You know, I'd like to get a sprayer and spray, but I'm gonna go see if I can go talk to Freeport and see what they've got. Maybe I
Lisbon
can-
has one.
Yeah, they must have them too. You guys must do a lot of spraying over there.
Lisbon has one.
Yeah, we had one where I came from, we had one, but you could use it to push behind, or you could take the handle off and use the
Yeah,
sprayer.
yeah.
That's what we use, so. So we're planning on getting that done this week, one way or the other, while it's warm. Probably, might be our last opportunity. So DOT has contacted us in Powell, and they want to put up a 4-way stop with blinking, flashing
I
lights.
object.
Well, DOT, I guess because of the number of accidents,
Yeah, I know.
it's triggered crossing that Route 9. I was talking to one of the selectmen. He said he sits every morning waiting for his ride to go to Bath Iron Works. He said every morning he watches cars go right through that light. Come off Elmwood and right across Route 9. So,
Where is that?
Where is it?
Right at the
Down the
pit stop.
center of Powell, right below
Short
Bradbury.
stop, Yeah,
right in the middle of town in Powell.
Yeah.
Right there.
right,
So,
Route 9's
'cause they-
is straight through and Elmwood's supposed to stop at either side.
They figured they didn't add enough four-way stops when they added the one in North Yarmouth, so they.
Well, they've approached us that they want to do it. They said they'll pay for everything except for the light bill, which is like $20 a month. But they're paying the light bill now for the blinking light, so I'm not quite sure why.
So yeah, the light bill, there's a light there.
They've already got a meter there. They're already paying the bill, so what's the difference whether they pay? So that came up from meeting.
That's in Pownell anyway.
We'll be discussing that.
Yes, it is.
But just so you know,
Do with us.
There will be a 4-way
Have at
stop.
if it's east-west traffic, appears to be a problem on Route 9. So if it's a problem there, it'll be a problem at Rabbit Runaround and.
Right, aren't they doing an investigation or recommendations or something at the Route 9 and Runaround and Rabbit?
That's done. They finished.
Oh, okay.
It was on the news. They
I didn't know if they had any recommendations about traffic control at that
I
intersection.
had received an email from somebody from GPCOG who is investigating dangerous intersections, and there were two that they were looking at.
Well, we got that email in Pownell for the intersection of Elmwood, and then immediately right after that, they just cut that all out, and DOT came right in and said, we just want to do it. So they stopped the investigation on it and just said, point blank, with the number of accidents, we just want to do it. But, so, this guy, was he looking for input from us? That's what,
Yeah, he was looking for input from us, and I had sent that to you, I think, and I sent it to Chief too. I think I forwarded it
oh,
to
yeah,
both
that's
of
right,
you.
yeah, that's right.
To ask for input on what you
And I
consider.
responded.
Yeah, you did.
You did get
Yeah,
Yeah, I did get your
Yeah.
response.
I got two of them, so I hope I didn't get them confused, but anyway, yeah, so I don't really have any input as far as, I haven't been here long enough to know he knows the number of accidents.
Chief's was pretty detailed, actually.
But at this point, they haven't said that they're gonna, the DOT hasn't said that they're gonna step in and do anything at that intersection.
Not yet.
You've put stop ahead signs on Runaround Pond and Rabbit. Did I see that you said that you put stop ahead signs or something?
No, we have the stencils to paint in the.
Okay.
on the pavement.
Gotcha.
There are signs on, they may have been there before, but there are signs on Runaround Pond Road coming up to a stop ahead sign.
Oh, yeah.
Those have always been there.
Yeah, okay.
But we just want to put something on the pavement so that you, if you're not looking at the sign, that should get your attention, and a white line as a stop sign, so you know that should grab your attention.
Spikes that come up if you're traveling over.
Well, they could put the sign with the blinking lights or something that say if there's somebody in the intersection, you know, I don't know.
The blinking light, that's up to DOT, that's their road. We really wouldn't have any input, like on 125 in Quaker Meeting House, that's DOT.
I actually wouldn't like that there, because then people say, hey, the light's not blinking, I can blow it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so.
In Pownell, a lot of people stop at the blinking yellow light. They stop and wait for it to turn red and green.
I just say,
It's not just at the intersection, that whole stretch of road is extremely dangerous and dead, not because of the road, but because of people don't travel the speed limit on that road. They don't,
People
not
fly.
familiar with the road
Mhm.
and driver inattentiveness, so it's not just the intersections. I think in my email, I pointed out at least 4 fatalities in the last 6 years that have happened not at the intersections on that stretch of road.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
But if
The
somebody has to keep
intersections
stopping
might
at every
help,
intersection,
right?
it'll slow them down.
Intersections might help, but it's not gonna resolve the problem with that road.
So we just finished grading all the Durham roads, gravel. I just gotta go check. I didn't see Ross Road on this. We'll check a couple, make sure they got done. The Brown Road, what I had discussed with you last time about, we had to pay, well, Jeff had forwarded me an article from 1995, in which the 3 towns of Durham, Pownell, and Freeport had hired John Mann, the Historical Societies had gotten together and hired John Mann to determine the exact location of Pope's Corner, because they thought it might have been moved over the years. Pope's Corner is, and so he did, he had 52-page report findings, and he went out and set a monument, and it says D, P, and F on it, so Durham, Pownell, Freeport. And it is, Grant Road used to come across 136 and come right across Brown Road. That piece of 136 wasn't the intersection, it was right at where, you can almost see the old road bed if you look to the left, where the Freeport sign is. So I went over to the stone, the monument, and it is the stone that he put in, and that's why Freeport put their sign there. And the 1951 letter to Mr. Tuttle in Freeport, chairman of the board at the time, came from the Cumberland County Commissioner's Office. Gave him the findings that the prior court ruling was that Durham was responsible from Pope's Corner to 2,708 feet, and that Pownell was responsible from that point from there to somebody's woodlot, which it's really irrelevant to us. So that 2,708 feet takes me right to the exact point where we stopped munching the pavement. By sheer coincidence, it was just exactly, right there.
Can't be good, be lucky.
And I looked over to the side, and there was a big rock sitting there that looks like somebody probably put it there on purpose. It's out of place, so I think someone set that rock. The problem is that the sign is 145 feet back. It says, "Welcome to Durham." No, it's the Durham Town Line sign, the standard white, not the welcome sign. That's
Yeah.
But that the question is, it's confusing. It looks like you're coming into Durham, but you're not. It's the same thing all the way down Brown Road. If you're on the left, you're in Durham. If you're on the
Yes.
right, you're in
Right.
Durham. So why that sign is there, and one of the selectmen in Pownell has the same problem in front of his house over there on off Auburn Pownell Road. And he said somebody just went out and put those posts everywhere, and they're in the wrong plot, in the wrong spot. So that sign should either be removed because it's inaccurate. You're not entering Durham. You've been in Durham, the whole road on the left. The court ruling was that Pownell owned 2 rods and Durham owned 1 rod of the road. So 2 rods belong to Pownell, 1 to Durham. The line goes right down the somewhat left, 1/3 side of the road. And
But they, in the ruling, they decided, rather than try to make them take care of this part, and, they said, okay, you're gonna have this length.
they took
Yeah.
2/3, I think what they did, they just said 2/3 of the length will be Pownell and 1/3 of the length will be
Yeah.
Durham. And so that's how it was resolved. So now I know exactly where the point is.
Mhm.
And Pownell's been out with me, seen the point, showed him the stone, measured it, and so that's no longer an issue. But I think that they want to meet with you at some point to discuss what to do with that signpost. I think and just remove it because it really is deceiving.
And I don't know, are there any state laws regarding those posts, the town line posts? Because I was under the impression at one point that there was some sort of state laws regarding those, and I don't know, but I don't know.
Well, it certainly wouldn't apply there.
Okay.
Because when you get to Freeport, where theirs is, it's definitely, the line goes across the road, that's Freeport. But
Right.
when you have this, it's very confusing.
50/50.
Yeah. Especially when you have the addressing. I do the addressing in Pownell, and one side addresses don't match the ones on the other side, so this guy's mad because he doesn't want to be 652 when the guy right across the street's mailbox is 358. And so, it's quite a confusing. But one thing I did notice is that a lot of happy taxpayers in Durham, but I didn't happen to think about the benefit to the Durham taxpayers of Beechwood Road and all those other people in Durham. We saw one in here today that was very happy, and people are just ecstatic about getting there. I'm getting a lot of phone calls, and people are just so. Not only did we get the 3.89 miles that we did here, we're getting another 1.29 miles of road that we just don't pay for, but our taxpayers get the benefit of
That road.
that road. Yeah.
That's
Not that next year we won't have to address the
Yes.
remaining piece, but so it covers my next point. Still working on the DEP application this June, January for the stream crossing. And so that's about all I've got.
Questions for the chief? Sorry, road commissioner.
No.
I just thought I'd let you guys think for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So are we doing?
Yes,
Okay.
we will be having 3 different sessions, one for each department head to do their reviews
Okay.
and other.
Ruth's got nothing. I can see it. She's got nothing.
What do you got?
So,
I mean, for your.
town administrator, any report?
Oh, my report. I see. There was one thing that I just needed to.
The
Shannon
light
had
comes
asked-
on.
Huh?
Nothing,
Light
go
comes
ahead.
on, yes. Well, I've been sick, so you're gonna have to excuse me. But Shannon wanted me to tell you guys that she did call the state troopers, because they're the ones covering us, and they're going to stop by the election on the 8th every once in a while to make sure that everything's doing good. So she is not going to be hiring or asking to hire the Androscoggin sheriff. So we're good with that. And Thursday is the last day for absentee voting. So if anybody wants to get in here,
Is that just getting your ballot, or
No,
no,
you're
when
getting your ballot.
you-
Thursday at 6:30 when we close the office, that's the last day you can get a ballot
Yeah.
for absentee ballot. Absentee voting.
All right.
I want to avoid the crowds. I know they're predicting a big
I mean,
turnout.
from what I understand, we've had a very high.
We had, I think it was 820 requests so far, and we've received, I think it was 674 ballots back so far. But we're good, we're organized.
Just a quick reminder to the public, it is hunting season. So if you're out walking in the middle of the morning, because I've seen a lot of people, there are a few out there that are walking flashlights and got the right on, and I've seen probably a third of them that are out there with nothing but dark color clothes on, you can't see them. So if you don't want to get run over by mistake, just think about that when you're out there in the deep dark in the morning.
And don't wear white, gray, or brown.
Right,
when
try to
you're
wear something
jogging.
fluorescent, and a flashlight's a good idea. I've seen a bunch of people that have flashlights, just kind of shine it, so.
Okay. Selectmen's comments, upcoming meetings be held here Tuesday, November 15th, Tuesday, November 29th at 6:30 PM. So I'm gonna, as far as reviews, I think I'm gonna, because of of some things, I'm gonna go, I believe, Chief, you, and then Calvin, and then you can be excused. 'Cause-
Okay, but we also have to do the real estate one.
Oh, okay, so we'll do,
Just pulled in.
Or I could put it off till next week,
well,
or next time.
how about we put it off, because we're running awfully late.
Yeah, that's fine with me,
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, so I move that we go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 405-6A personnel matters, discussion of fire department review.